The following contest scheduled for one fall.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to One Fall Friday, and this week we're going over a few releases that happened earlier this week, along with some show results from Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, so let's get right to it. So let's go ahead and get these releases out of the way. The obvious one that most everyone is talking about, the only one that they really reported about on WWE.com was Emma. She apparently asked for her release and it was granted and she's on her way. However, there were two more that I didn't even know about until, I heard something about it on Jim Ross's podcast, and then I did a little digging, and they also let go of Darren Young and Summer Rae. Now those two, I completely understand, and it doesn't really affect me that much. I mean, Darren Young, he's a great talent, but they just didn't know what to do with him. He wasn't popping with the crowd. I get it. He wasn't getting on TV. He might as well be released so he can go. I mean, he was getting paid anyway while he was under contract, but at least now he can go do what he loves to do and get paid for it too. It might not be as much as what he was getting paid with WWE, but it's still a paycheck, so you can't really, feel that bad for the guy. Summer Rae, on the other hand, I don't think she ever wanted to be a professional wrestler. I think she just wanted to be popular, because as soon as she got some fame under her belt, she just immediately stopped showing up on TV, and for years, I mean at least 2 or 3 years, she has not been on TV, but she's been under contract with the company, and she's been running off doing all kinds of fucking clothes and modeling and fashion shit, using her name and using WWE's name as kind of a springboard platform into what she really wanted to do, which is not wrestling. And it's unfortunate, because she had that snarky attitude when she would come out and she was the heel and she's trying to get people to hate her. She was really good at that. And she was mediocre in the ring. With a little bit more work, she could have been awesome, but that's apparently just not what she wanted to do. So yeah, and then Emma, that's really sucks, because Emma was awesome, and Emma deserved to be on the roster. She deserved to be on TV. She even deserved to be champion. She didn't. I mean, I don't know if it was money was an issue or if it was TV time wasn't an issue. Not getting opportunities was the issue. I really don't know. But best of luck, Emma, and hopefully you'll be back someday. All right, now on Raw and SmackDown, we're still building up towards Survivor Series. Not all the participants have been named. I mean, obviously we have these champion matches that have been set that are, I guess, just kind of the mid/underbelly of the card. I think the two big draws of Survivor Series are going to be the men's teams, the women's teams, and the Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal match. Those three matches right there are going to be your 3-minute events. And so they haven't named all the participants for either of the men or women's teams, but obviously we already know Brock versus Jinder, so there's a lot of build up towards that. Some interaction with Paul Heyman and the Singh brothers. They're kind of jabbing at each other verbally, and Jinder's just doing what Jinder does, which is come out and talk like a raspy old man and beat people up. Couple returns happened on Monday Night Raw. So we saw the return of Stephanie McMahon, which I was kind of speculating about last week. I forgot to mention it in my vlog, and I realized that once I had edited and posted, I was like, shit, I was going to talk about Stephanie, because I was thinking, where's Stephanie? We haven't seen her since WrestleMania. And with Kurt Angle being general manager now, and, their history in the past, I figured that would make for some good TV. Stephanie and Kurt Angle on TV again, partnered up. That makes for good TV. But she decides to come back right at Survivor Series when it's Raw versus SmackDown, which makes sense. She's got to defend Raw, but she's she's putting it to Kurt Angle for, what had happened, and so she made him the captain of the team. And then we also saw the return of Samoa Joe. which I had been wondering since that Fatal 5-Way what had happened to him. Where's Joe? What happened to Joe? Apparently he was injured, and I didn't hear anything about it. Nobody was really talking about it, so it was good to see him back, but I understand why he was a little about being gone and nobody cared, because people weren't talking about it, obviously, but people were glad to see him whenever he showed up. My only hope is that maybe they'll put him on the men's team. The other confirmed member so far is only Braun Strowman. And I know for a fact that they're just waiting for Roman Reigns to come back because he's still sick, he's still out. It's still just Seth and Dean doing their thing with the Shield. But, they're biting their nails. That's why they haven't named all the participants yet, is because they're waiting for him to make his triumphant return, being back from being sick. He's going to come, and he's going to do something great, and then he's going to be put in the match. Hell, maybe the whole Shield will be put in the match, since that's 3 spots that are open. That only leaves one heel member, but I mean, he's not really a heel. He's kind of a neutral person, we've never been given a reason why we should hate Braun Strowman. He's never won dirty. And sure, he'll beat up on Roman Reigns, who's supposed to be a face, but people are getting behind it. And like I said, he's not being dirty about it. He's just being dominant. He's being a badass, and people love badasses. Over on the SmackDown spectrum, we learned that Shane is going to be the captain of their team. And honestly, I was a little bit disappointed, because there was a small glimmer of hope. Okay, maybe they changed their mind, maybe they reconsidered, or maybe he got checked out and he got cleared. I was really hoping that Daniel Bryan maybe might be able to wrestle just one more match. Not to say that they still haven't decided that, or that it won't happen. I mean, it's a very, very slim to none chance that he will. There was an altercation with him and Kane on Raw. Daniel Bryan ended up showing up. He got locked into Kurt Angle's office, and then Kane shows up and choke slams him. You never really see it happen. You see his hand go around his throat, and then they go through the motion, but then it goes black, so you never really see it happen. Yeah, I mean, it didn't happen, but it did happen. So with that, because that's the story that they were building, and because of everything that's going on on SmackDown, I really thought that maybe they were going to bring him in for being the captain of the SmackDown team. I mean, I've always said, since I found out who Daniel Bryan was and his style in the ring, I was like, oh my god, he would make a great opponent for Kurt Angle. And now, fast forward, here we are. They're both under contract with WWE, but they're both in bad health. They've granted Kurt Angle to get back into the ring, but they haven't with Daniel Bryan. And it's like, if just one match, please. These two would put on such a great match, even if it was just, him representing SmackDown, or Daniel Bryan representing SmackDown, and Kurt Angle representing Raw. Just so they were in the ring for maybe like 30 seconds at one time. I would be happy. I would be satisfied. And, he wouldn't be wrestling the whole match himself. It's a tag match, so he would have help. He would have breaks. He would have people taking care of him. I just think that they could have done it and it would have been fine, but that's just my personal opinion. Don't, take what you will. Whatever. Okay, so the SmackDown team looks like this now. We've got Shane McMahon as your captain, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura. Next week, they're going to have a match with Rusev and AJ Styles to determine who's going to be the final member of the team. I really don't know what they're doing with Rusev right now. They're on this kick, this Rusev Day kick, and I don't know if I should think it's funny or if I should hate it at this point. I mean, it's ridiculous and it's obnoxious, and they're really running it into the ground, especially when they bring in Aiden English, just belting it out as loud as he can and just singing it. It's Rusev Day! It's just so fucking ridiculous. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know if people are liking it or if I'm alone. I really don't know, but it's messed up. And like I say, AJ Styles, he's been busy with Jinder Mahal. Of course, Jinder Mahal has his match with Brock Lesnar, but I've been saying that AJ's probably going to end up having a match with Jinder to, help get him more over. And that could definitely happen after Survivor Series or even before Survivor Series. Yeah. I don't think they're going to drop that belt on AJ just so he could have a match with Brock, lose, come back and lose again to Jinder. That's taking too much heat off of Jinder. They need to keep the belt on him and, ride this out at least to the end of the year. For the women's matches, we have our two captains. Alicia Fox is captain of the Raw team, and Becky Lynch is captain of the SmackDown team. Now, Becky Lynch hasn't made any concrete decisions on who's going to be on her team because she's got 5 people to choose from. Natalya is obviously going to be busy with Alexa Bliss, but then she's got 5 others that she could pick for her team, and one of them's not going to make it. More than likely, it's going to be Lana. So, I think you pretty much have your team already set for SmackDown. I don't know what Alicia Fox is doing, just twiddling her thumbs, but the only person that she's named on her team so far is Nia Jax, which that's kind of an obvious choice. Why wouldn't you go for Nia Jax? So, over on NXT, I'm excited about this. It's been a while since I've been able to talk about NXT, and it's my favorite show. We're getting ready for NXT TakeOver Houston. We have the Fatal 4-Way match for the vacated women's title. All the participants have been named. We got Kairi Sane, which, she earned the slot from winning the Mae Young Classic. We got Nikki Cross. We've got Peyton Royce. And we've got Ember Moon. I could see 3 of these women winning the belt. And that's Nikki, Kairi, or Ember. If Peyton wins, I'm just going to be sorely disappointed. I don't know why they would give the belt to her. They're doing this whole iconic duo thing with her and Billie Kay, so why would you put more heat on one than the other unless you were going to split them up? I really don't think they're going to split them up. So I would be so happy if Nikki won, I'd be so happy if Ember won, and I'd be happy if Kairi won. I would not be happy if Peyton won. She's one of those, it's like, you're supposed to hate her, and I do, and so she's doing her job, and she's doing it right. But I'm just not 100% sold on her in-ring ability. She's good, and she can get through a match. She can get through a match a lot better than some of the other women that I've seen wrestle lately, especially in the Mae Young Classic. But I'm just not sold on her as, a champion. And that's probably why she'll end up winning. It looks like Drew McIntyre's opponent is probably going to be Andrade Cien Almas. There's been a lot of confrontation and conflict going on between these two. The Undisputed Era is going to be busy in a match of their own. I'll get to that in a minute. The Undisputed Era is, of course, Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and what the fuck is his other name? So I'm really looking forward to Drew's match with Andrade. Andrade's been on a roll. He's been winning all of his matches, which makes sense now if he's going to get a title match against Drew. I think that they could have an incredible match. I don't think that they're going to take the belt off of Drew just yet. They're going to keep it on him at least until they can get him and Adam Cole together. That's got to be the plan. Otherwise, they wouldn't have had him attack Drew at the last TakeOver event. Sure, it could have been just to make a statement, and it'd be a slow build to the top. But really, there's no other better opponent for Drew McIntyre right now than Adam Cole. But now it's not the time. So Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, they're going to be in a triple threat style-ish match. WWE, it's been revealed for a while, but they just revealed it on the taping that they aired last night, which again, I'm recording this on a Thursday, but just this previous Wednesday's NXT was the night that they revealed that they're bringing back War Games. Now, when I was growing up, I was hardcore WWF, WWE, whatever. I didn't watch anything else. I tried. When I heard about there was another company called WCW and they had a wrestling show on Monday, I was like, oh, I'll check it out, because I understood that, a lot of people were saying, oh, this person went to WCW. Well, what's WCW? So I turned it on and I checked it out, and there was something about it. I don't know what it was. I wasn't drawn to it like I was WWF, WWE. it didn't have that staying power. I don't know what it was. I really don't know what it was. I was turned off of it, and I didn't watch it. All throughout the Monday Night Wars, I never watched WCW. I only ever watched WWF. So, of course, I had heard of this concept where, I'd seen pictures and I'd seen video clips, but, where you got two rings next to each other and a giant cage covering all of it. And I was, oh, well, why don't they do something like that? That's kind of cool, But I never knew that it was called War Games. And apparently this concept was, it was, blah. And apparently this concept was dated all the way back, I think even before WCW. It was back in like NWA days, because Dusty Rhodes, I think, was one of the people that ended up coming up with it. But this match concept is really, really cool, and I'm glad that they're bringing it back, because, when I saw pictures and video clips and everything like that, I figured that would have been like a really, really good match. And I guess because Dusty had created it and coined it, that WWE didn't want to use it because it didn't belong to them. I mean, of course, they created their variations throughout the years, Hell in a Cell, Elimination Chamber, which, kind of centered around the same concept, but not really, because there was only ever one ring. This, you get two rings side by side, and so, I mean, that just adds another element where you could do a lot of really cool shit. So, now that they're bringing it back, I'm really, really excited, because it's going to be my first one, and I think that you couldn't put any better people in this match. The Undisputed Era, and Sanity, and the Authors of Pain with the help of Roderick Strong. So Roderick Strong, he's been kind of getting pulled into the loop with the Undisputed Era. They've kind of been like watching him and talking to him backstage, trying to get him to join. For some reason, he decided not to, and he's aligned himself with the Authors of Pain so they could take out the Undisputed Era. I mean, obviously, they have a score to settle with Sanity because they took the tag titles off of them, but I don't think this match is going to be any kind of tag title related. I mean, you're going to have the tag champs in there, but I don't think it's going to be for the titles. And from what I understand, the previous matches, incarnations of these matches, you've had only 2 teams of 3, and now there's going to be 3 teams of 3. So that's just, they're trying to bring it back, but they're also trying to up the stakes and make it their own. I get it. It's going to be cool. I can't wait to see it. Alright, you guys, that's going to be it for me this week. I've been yakking at you long enough. Gonna have the same story next week. We're talking about shows, talking about anything new for the Survivor Series card. And yeah, I'm really starting to look forward to Survivor Series. When you add the extra element of, brand versus brand, that's kind of neat. And they're booking some good matches, and it's going to be good to see. But until next week, thank you guys very much for watching this episode. I'll be back later with another video. I hope to see you there. My name is Dave, and I am the